questions related with your gantry girders. So, gantry girder, we have first what is the difference in the design of plate girder and gantry girder. Already we have seen the design of plate girder, we have seen questions on this. And now we have this gantry girder. So, in gantry girder, we are going to consider two loads which are other than plate girder. So these two loads we have, that is impact and longitudinal load. So these two loads which we are not going to consider in welded plate girder, that we have to consider in gantry girder. Why each channel prepared on compression flange in case of gantry girder? So you can see we have that impact load, we have longitudinal load, then we have lateral thrust. So we have longitudinal loads. So impact, lateral thrust, and longitudinal load we have to consider in case of gantry girder, and this will cause stresses in compression flange. So we can shift the neutral axis, that is upward, by providing channel on compression flange. And as we are going to shift our neutral axis upward, so my value of y top decreases, and therefore we have sigma is equal to m by I into y. So if my y value decreases, so my compressive stress also decreases, and therefore channel is preferred on compression flange in gantry girder. Why ISWB is preferred in gantry girder? So now gantry girder we are providing for movement of cranes, and as we have movement of cranes, so we have to provide rails for it, and for the rails and their connection we require more width in case of gantry girder, and to satisfy this requirement of rails and its connection we are going to provide ISWB. W means we have wide flange beam, and as we are wide flange available, so width available on compression flange will be more, which will satisfy our requirement of movement of our rails. What is the criteria for impact load? Impact load when we have electric overhead cranes is 25% of maximum static load, and for hand operated cranes our impact load is considered 10% of maximum static load. What is the criteria for longitudinal load? So this is 5% of maximum static load for both, that is electrically operated and hand operated. What is the criteria for lateral thrust? So for electric overhead cranes, value of lateral thrust is taken 10% of, now this is most important, weight of crab plus weight lifted by crane for electric operated cranes, and this is 5% for your mm, overhead cranes, where we are going to consider again weight of crab and weight lifted by cranes. Then what will be the position of wheel load for maximum shear force? So now we have to provide one of the wheel load, that is on the support. Position of wheel load for maximum shear force. Now actually we have one question again. So what will be the position for maximum wheel load? If I will say what will be position for maximum wheel load? Will be position for maximum wheel load, for maximum wheel load, and we are going to provide maximum wheel load. So we are going to provide, that is lifted load and crab. So load is kept at hook approach, from one hook approach, from one of the girder, or from one of the support. So we have to keep at hook approach that load, and which will gives us maximum wheel load, and that maximum wheel load we have to keep on one of the support to get the maximum shear force, because we know these two are connected. We have this will be assembly. So if one is at support, then other will be at wheel base from this support, and then we have this will be girder. So this is my wheel base. So if we will draw this diagram, if I have this as a girder, that is a gantry girder, which may be 6 meter, 7 meter. So one wheel load will be here, that is at support, and another wheel load will be at a distance wheel base from this support, and from which we are going to calculate maximum shear force. Then for maximum bending moment, one of the wheel load and CG of the wheel load should be equidistant. Means if we will draw this diagram, then we have this will be our diagram. This is our center, and then we have to keep one of the wheel, and CG of the wheel load will be equidistance from the center of span. So if we have this as L, then our CG will be at L by 2. So we have this will be L by 2. And then we have this distance, that is L by 4. So this is also L by 4, and this distance is also L by 4. So CG of the wheel load and one of the wheel should be equidistant. So both these are at L by 4 from the center. So equidistance from center of the span. Then gantry girder is designed as laterally supported or unsupported. It is designed as laterally unsupported beam because compression flange is not restrained against lateral buckling. Is it checked for uniaxial or biaxial bending? Just I have mentioned, as compression flange is unrestrained, so we have to design it, or we have to check it for biaxial bending, and we have that formula mz upon mdz plus my upon mdy less than or equal to 1. So these are the questions which are related with gantry girder. So we will stop here only. Thank you.